the intimacy with other starts with the intimacy with here, with yourself, with life, with the moment. With other, it's the same. Yeah, it's just that there's layers and layers and layers of conditioning and imprinting that has been coated on top of what intimacy is, what the man, woman, or if it's woman, woman, man, man connection is. What is love? What is relationship? Oh, so many imprints. What is sexuality? Yeah. It all closes the truth of that love. Being able to breathe and unfold and dance and heal. And to also move in its natural cycles, because there's the coming together to be touched, and then there's the gentle, there's the movement of coming back to self, to the inner union, the coming together, to be touched, and then another layer is touched, and then allowing the coming back into the inner union. But what is happening so often when we come closer, we come closer and closer and closer with other, if there isn't enough of the inner union, the divine union cultivated, right, as the coming together happens, it's like that flame. It's never a mistake when you're attracted to someone, woman. It's never a mistake. There's always a reason. There's like the soul attraction, the souls naturally will come together. Yeah. And in that coming together, come closer, closer. This is attraction, the soul flames being ignited, the heart's being touched, the body's being touched. And then what happens there is all the patterns wake up. Yeah, all the imprints wake up. All the conditions wake up. The fantasies, the projections, the polarization. So it's like that flame of love is actually there to transmute, transform, purify those patterns, those conditions, those imprints. into the truth of what love really is. Yeah. Mhm. So if there isn't an allowing of that cultivation of the inner union, then what starts to happen is there isn't the consciousness, the presence, the love, yeah, of the divine masculine and feminine. And then we get caught in the identifications of these patterns and we start to live them out. So when I speak about caught in the identifications of the patterns, it means that we're not awake in them, so we don't have the capacity to transmute through the flame of love so that there can be a deepening into the truth of love, opening, and the healing that we have access to through the intimate relating. And there's nothing wrong here. It's just the way that we learn and grow. So I'm sure you've said the words before. This pattern keeps on repeating itself again and again. The same thing keeps on coming back again and again. Do you know what I'm talking about there? Like in relationship, I keep on attracting the same man. Or I keep the same dynamic is happening in my relationship with the one that I've been with for 30 years or 20 years. Or they could be like a living out a whole lifetime of being the virgin, maybe 10 years, and then a whole life, like a whole section of the life being the whore, for example. Yeah. And then a whole section of the life attracting the unavailable man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just take a breath. Whew. Soften and relax and breathe. Creating some space. Emptying out the head. Relax the heart. And relax the belly. Mm. So this path of awakening relationship, awakening intimacy is not a path for everyone. Yeah. It's like I have a sister in New Zealand. She's very happy. She's in a relationship. She's getting married. She's having she's doing that thing that feels good for her, and she's very happy in that. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with living the virgin or living the whore. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of it. What I'm inviting you into is a path of awakening, healing, becoming more whole inside of yourself. Yeah. And also the deeper birthing of the divine feminine through you as woman. Where you truly embody woman as that love, the power of love, the power of receptivity, the power of creation in relationship with other and the world. And especially through the sexuality, woman, this is where we start to more deeply birth our souls. Because the sexuality is about embodiment. It's about fully birthing, realizing, embodying your essence and your soul. So when we're moving in the patterns around sexuality or love or intimacy or relationship, it's not really the path of that embodiment of the soul. So it's not an easy path. So it really takes a dedication to being true. To staying in the truth of love. And it's like this deep dedication to your soul, deep dedication to love and truth. And it's not all about the relationship. Yeah. And it serves the relationship deeply, and it serves the other deeply. Yeah. But we're not in the patterns of the little girl needing and wanting. We aren't in the wounding of the little girl acting out in the relationship. We aren't in the unconscious patterning of the virgin and the whore, where we're using or manipulating our sexuality, where we're acting like the good wife. Just some examples. We aren't in the conditioned imprinting from the church, from the mother and the father and the media, objectifying or the whole imprint of self-development and the spiritual community around trying to fix something, transform something, get somewhere, the patriarchal imprints. It's like there's this dedication to continuously deepening into love and deepening into truth, and that is a continuous journey. So each time the next layer arises, especially in the intimate relating, sometimes those places that get really scared and start to shake, which is usually the child parts, will want to hang on to something because of not feeling safe. And that's when there needs to be a holding of the child, like a real holding of the child, and moving with the truth of that love. And what I can see with this journey is that it starts to the relationship, the journey of relationship, the forms evolve. Yeah, I know some of you have been through this, where it's like the relationship was like this, and there was a pattern that was moving like that, and it got to a place where it totally burned through, loved through, healed through, and then there's like that complete letting go. Yeah. Let's just take some breaths. Yeah. And slow down. Yeah. And then there's nothing. Yeah. It's like the relationship has disappeared. It's stopped. It's released. Yet it's the pattern that has dropped through and released. It's the old form that's dropped through and released. And that can't happen through skipping over steps or skipping over places that need to be felt or healed or loved or welcomed. Yeah. And then suddenly there's like a newness that starts to blossom. Yeah. Mm. And one thing that I'm knowing for certain is that if you are in the intimate relating with other, whatever's being touched here, there's something happening in the other person as well. Yeah. It's not just you. Mm. And, and this type of healing can be done within the inner union. You don't have to do it with someone. Like sometimes there needs to be more of the inner union. Yeah, because the going out into relating with other could be then just another pattern, and you're like, oh no, I just don't want to do that again. I want to cultivate more here first. And you don't have to transform and heal all your patterns and your wounding before you go out into relating, because we learn through relating. We learn through the touching and being touched. Yeah. There's no one way to be in this. And sometimes the intimate relating can be just with the family or friends. There can be tender layers that are touched through any form of intimate relating. Okay, so let's just take some breaths and just digesting everything that I've shared, yeah, because it's a lot that I'm bringing through here to you, and just taking some breaths and digesting.